Hello and welcome to our entity formation project. We are doing an LLC. It's called Pheasant Prairies Ranch and Lodge. So basically our LLC is a pheasant hunting ranch. It's located between Huron and DeSmet, South Dakota, at roughly a size of 2,000 acres. We offer guided or unguided hunting trips, mostly for pheasant and waterfowl. We also provide lodging opportunities for our guests if they want to stay on multi-day hunts.
An LLC offers many advantages to us. Some of them include that it combines the limited liability of a corporation with the tax advantages of a partnership. And that limited liability means that us as members get limited protection that is only up to our initial investment in the LLC. And as members, we'll be able to directly manage the company.
Specifically for a hunting ranch, we really want this LLC formation because of the limited liability protections. Hunting activities come with the risk of personal physical injury, and the hunting industry is also heavily regulated, and penalties imposed can be quite severe. Also, with the land, natural disasters and disease may create unexpected risks for the land, and also LLC laws might be slightly different from state to state. So a hunting ranch where all business and revenues are made in one state simplifies potential litigation.
To become an LLC, there are many documents and applications that must be completed and submitted to the appropriate state agency. The first article of organization is what is necessary for us to become an LLC in the state of South Dakota. And so the articles of organization list the basics of the company, like who is the organizing member, the location of the company itself, its members with their respective ownership percentage in the company. This document must be submitted to the South Dakota Secretary of the State in order to become an LLC. The next and very important document is the the operating agreement. And so the operating agreement is very important to us because it provides the members with an outline of how to operate the company. This is extremely important because it provides answers to various problems that could occur, such as what happens when a member dies, becomes incompetent, attempts to share their ownership rights to another, or how members even want to share profits and losses.
Next, we have to look at the name registration for an LLC. The requirements for this vary by state, but since we're in South Dakota, we will follow the rules for South Dakota. One requirement is that the words limited liability company or an abbreviation of it has to be in the name. There are also certain words that can't be included, such as words that could confuse it with a government agency, such as FBI, Treasury, State. There's also other restricted words, such as bank, attorney, or university, where you're required to do additional paperwork. Luckily for us, we don't have these words and won't have to deal with that. And lastly, we have to check to make sure our company name is not already taken on the state's website. As you can see here, we typed in our LLC's name in the search bar, and in the bottom left here, you can see that no records were found. So this means we are free and clear to use this name in the state of South Dakota.
Furthermore, any business doing business in South Dakota will need to collect sales and use tax for any goods and services they sell and remit these amounts to the state. And this form applies for this process. So this form tells the state what type of business we have and the tax we want to remit to them, which will just be sales and use tax. And below is a few more entity characteristics and the members of the LLC. We also need to register for our federal tax identification number, even though Pheasant Prairies is a flow-through entity, which means that it will not pay any income tax itself. Our LLC will still need to provide an annual Form 1065, which details our financials and distributions and income allocations to members.
Our final required documents will be filing a trademark registration with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And this basically will just make sure that no one else will be able to use our registered name in the operation of business. And now that we're done with all the required forms we were supposed to file, these are some of the additional ones that will be unique to our LLC. The first one here is outfitters insurance. And the reason that this will be important to us is that we'll be leading potentially inexperienced clients for these hunting guides. And this could result in liabilities and could be attorney's fees, medical costs, equipment theft, anything like that. And this insurance will help cover us in event of that. And now we have our liquor license on our property. We are planning on having a having a main lodge where we will be providing liquor and different foods in a restaurant to our patrons. And for this, we'll be required to file this liquor license with the state of South Dakota and a food license, which basically says that they'll be able to come in and kind of check our operations from time to time, making sure that it is up to code.
We also thought it would be a smart idea to have a separate bank account for our company. This helps prevent the commingling of personal funds. As we all know, this can lead to the piercing of the corporate veil in liability suits. And also this bank account is just convenient to handle things such as payroll, expenses, and receipts. As you can see here, we began the process of setting up our bank account through Wells Fargo. We also thought it was important to set up a waiver for our company. Hunting is an inherently dangerous activity. As you can see here, people just sometimes do stupid things that could get them hurt. So just to cover our butts, we thought it'd be smart to have all our hunters sign a waiver of basically to release us from any liability. As long as our hunting guides aren't negligent and follow protocols, we should be able to avoid most liability that could result in hunt.
Unique to our industry is an application for hunting lodges to submit is the private shooting preserve operating permit. And so after consulting with game fish and parks of South Dakota, we learned that the private preserve application is needed to be completed in order for us to be approved and recognized by the state. And so the document follows many of those before, where the basics are outlined, like who, what, where, and then why. However, it dives further into the use of the land. Since we are a hunting preserve, we plan on releasing pheasants. And so as a result, for this application, we need to disclose the age of the pheasant we plan to release, how many, when we would like to release them. And so this is important in maintaining the populations in South Dakota and make sure that the wild populations aren't outcompeted. And so in order to become just a hunting lodge, this document is need to be completed here.
And finally, our most fundamental asset will be our land, since you need land to have a hunting business. So we bought a sizable plot of land, 2,000 acres in east central South Dakota, where pheasant hunting is popular. So here we provide a land purchase agreement, which is our contract with Bob Smith to buy his land in the area, which is where we will do our lodge and our hunt. And then we also have a certificate of real estate value, which denotes the value of our property.
Thanks for watching.